Hello humans of the universe, heroes, villains, and everything in between. I'm La Pokemon, and today Barbie. So today I want to talk about this film, but before I start, I just want to say that I have no ill will towards anyone in this film. Not Greta Gerwig, not Margot Robbie, not Ken, or Ugly Betty. And I just want to say that before I started this video, so anyways, back to the video. It was July 21st, 2023, and I was walking into the cinema. The whole world was either watching Barbie or Oppenheimer, or both, since no one really cares. They're not even in the same category of film. But I walked out of the theater having had a few laughs, but as I was driving home I kept thinking about it, and something just didn't sit right with me, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. So I just kept thinking about the film, and then it hit me. This film is a mess. So this video is something that I have been wanting to do for a while, kind of. So I want to talk first about the opening few seconds, and a commenter brought this to my attention that this is a parody of 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now please don't laugh at me, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. So this commenter states something that I think is the very thesis of this video and how I feel about this movie, and that is that this movie is trying to be a lot deeper than it actually is. This film is basically two little kids in a trench coat.
Look at them now, boys. Ain't nothing like a little fear to make a paper man crumble.
And this movie crumbles hard when you actually think about it. You see the holes and the flaws and all the failed ideas. This film has no middle, it is simply a beginning and an end, and this is the biggest problem. No one ever evolves and grows. They just tell you that they have evolved and grown. So let's go to my first point. This is one of the biggest problems with this film. So we have three main characters and it all seems good on the surface. Barbie is discovering the real world, Ken is discovering himself, and Betty is trying to reconnect with her daughter. Now what would be interesting is the fact that our view is on the adult and not the kid, and that's interesting. But this character is badly utilized, and she is said to be Barbie's connection to the real world and mentor to what's happening. She's meant to help Barbie when Barbie came to the real world to help her. See, it's like an epic twist. Now Ken, I am most disappointed in how they executed his character. He had a lot of potential to show someone becoming independent and being his own man. He is Knuff, I guess. Not that it matters, as everything he says is moot because he takes over Barbie Land and then he says he never wanted to do that in the first place. He just liked horses. So the whole reason for him doing this wasn't a real reason. I think it's okay for men to cry. The problem is that this movie executes him so poorly. They just treat him like he's a puppy who has no control over his emotions. When the Kens seemingly are the only race in the Barbie world who can actually feel emotion, or emotions that aren't joy. Okay, here's the best way to explain what I wanted Ken's storyline to be. There's this scene in a movie that's called Teen Beach Movie 2. Okay, just stay with me. I watched this movie for a video I might do that would be what is the best Disney Channel movie, but this movie sucks. The ending is bad. They shove feminism down your throat. Hey, kind of like the Barbie movie, but we'll talk about that later. The reason I bring this movie up is for one line that our Ken insert says.
Brady, can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah, sure.
I've been thinking about things, and I don't normally like to think about things. You see, I always assumed Layla would just be there for me. But that night when she ran into the water with her necklace, it gave me this strange feeling in my stomach. It felt like when I drink a milkshake too fast. It felt like things might not work out.
It's called worry.
Yeah, that. And the thing is, things always work out for me. But here now, I still have that feeling. Worry? I'm worried that Layla wanted to come to this strange world because I wasn't enough for her.
Now this may seem random, but it would show Ken drifting away from Barbie and becoming his own man. There was this post by Warner Brothers, I believe, and it says this. I don't agree with this, but apparently I'm not the only one because I found this comment about it. And I don't know if this person liked this movie or not, but it doesn't matter. Ken's purpose as a character is to find his own identity. He's not just Barbie's favorite accessory, and the film poorly executed this with all of its stupid jokes. Yes, a person can make a funny movie that sends a serious message, but this movie didn't, and it shows. The idea of Ken is you can't love someone until you love yourself. Yeah, Ken is a great actor, but this movie doesn't do justice to his idea. Ryan Gosling didn't even want his own kids to watch this movie. Yeah, he says it's because I don't know if you should watch your father as Ken. Should I do like a Ryan Gosling impression or something? What does Ryan Gosling sound like? I don't know if you should watch your father as Ken. I don't know. Okay, whatever. Because he doesn't want to subject them to his portrayal. But I think he knew as well as I do this isn't Ken and this isn't how you execute this idea. And he doesn't want them to see a pathetic excuse for an evolution. But that's probably wrong because I'm just projecting my own thoughts on someone else. That's probably not the real reason. But anyways. You ever heard that TikTok song, Build a Bitch? Don't worry, I don't listen to TikTok music. Calm down. I'm bringing this up because even this song has more sustenance and character growth than anyone in the Barbie movie. Also, if you've ever seen the YouTube channel James Marriott, that's actually the only time I've ever heard this song. Watch his YouTube channel. He doesn't really make videos on there anymore. But anyway, like you don't have to put down men to empower women. Also, why is Barbie such a bitch to Ken? I don't want to call her out or anything, but it just doesn't make any sense for the majority of the film other than for the lols. It would make sense if slowly over time as she became more human, she would maybe snap at Ken for always following her and being the way that he is. And Barbie in this film never really evolves. The only emotion she ever feels is depression. She never once actually sees the human world or the good, the bad, and the ugly. And her whole evolution or lack thereof is negated by the fact that the only reason she feels sad is because of Betty's drawings. This would have made sense if it was what they said, your owner needs you, but it was really the mother who needed her. That's interesting, and the reason why she feels things could be because she's in the real world, and that makes Barbie become more human. She never feels any emotion unless it's sadness or depression. Yes, people feel these emotions, but it's not all we feel. We feel happy and angry and fear, disgust. Yes, I'm just naming Inside Out characters. Technically, we do see her feel angry and like distant or whatever, but she's like that with Ken normally in the Barbie world, or we can assume as much by her reaction to him being in her car when she's driving to the human world. It's very clear that she's annoyed by him all the time. So does she feel emotion or do they not feel emotion? What are you trying to do here? But all she feels is sadness and anxiety, and as we know, she was already mean to Ken in Barbie Land. So when she yells at him by the bench, it isn't her learning a new emotion, it's normal, not anger. But now let's talk about Betty and her daughter. Literally nothing. There's nothing to talk about. These characters just seem slapped into this plot as an excuse for Barbie to go to the real world and nothing more. And then Greta Gerwig forgot they needed to be real people and have a finished story. So she did what she's been doing, gave them a beginning and an end, with no real knowledge or progression for how they got there. And you feel split from your daughter? Well, not anymore. She has no more problems, right? Because that's how people work. Now, it's not all bad in Barbie Land or Earth, who even knows? Them going back to Barbie Land was the breaking point. It felt like Greta Gerwig ran out of the story she was telling for this film, so she went, let's go back to Barbie Land. It felt like she didn't know how to end the story. And can we talk about how Mattel was in this film? What the hell? They had no reason to be here. Yes, Barbie is an actual toy and that makes sense in this universe, but can we just say they exist in real life because of the love their children give? Them being in this movie is so unbelievably stupid that it makes my head hurt. They have no purpose other than a stupid joke, and I know people are inevitably going to say I just don't get the movie, and that's fine because maybe I don't. I would love to go to the world you live in where you see the film as a masterpiece, because if I could, I would. Trust me. Also, just by the way, Margot Robbie crying 50 times isn't a talent. I do that every day and you don't see me getting paid for it. I know you have better acting range than this. I've seen it. Tanya. The problem is that I don't think anyone involved in this film gave a shit. Maybe Greta Gerwig did because this is a mess, but at least it's her mess and her idea, and I can respect that. But Margot Robbie, this was all for monetary gain and her production company showing that that they can do something big and successful. No matter how much heart they have to sacrifice, who gives a shit about quality? This film succeeded because of its IP. It's Barbie. Men are gonna watch it ironically, parents are gonna take their kids to it, and women are gonna watch it because it's nostalgic and it sends a message. Not. What message? What message, Barbie? The one you have been sending for years, women can be whatever they want to be? Huh? We had an opportunity here because one thing that Barbie has never been is a mother. If you ask someone who the most important woman in their life is, they'll probably say their mother or their wife. And this movie had a mother. It has the chance to show the other side. We have men, mothers, and women, and they failed to successfully deliver any of them. This movie boils down to this speech.
It is literally impossible to be a woman. You are so beautiful and so smart, and it kills me that you don't think you're good enough. Like, we have to always be extraordinary. But somehow we're always doing it wrong. Like, you have to be thin, but not too thin. And you can never say you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but also you have to be thin. You have to have money, but you can't ask for money because that's crass. You have to be a boss, but you can't be mean. You have to lead, but you can't squash other people's ideas. You're supposed to love being a mother, but don't talk about your kids all the damn time. You have to be a career woman, but also always be looking out for other people. You have to answer for men's bad behavior, which is insane, but if you point that out, you're accused of complaining. You're supposed to stay pretty for men, but not so pretty that you tempt them too much or that you threaten other women, because you're supposed to be a part of the sisterhood, but always stand out and always be grateful. But never forget that the system is rigged, so find a way to acknowledge that, but also always be grateful. You have to never get old, never be rude, never show off, never be selfish, never fall down, never fail, never show fear, never get out of line. It's too hard, it's too contradictory, and nobody gives you a medal or says thank you. And it turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but also everything is your fault. I'm just so tired of watching myself and every single other woman tie herself into knots so that people will like us. And if all of that is also true for a doll, just representing a woman, then I don't even know.
What? These dolls don't feel the same as a human. Barbie was meant to be the bridge. These dolls don't feel the same way we do, and that's clearly established, which is why Barbie gets so upset when she starts feeling emotions and getting freaking cellulite on her ass.
Are you kidding? Hi, I'm Cellulite Sally. Look at my huge badonkey.
Also, could you find a better example of telling and not showing? I'm sorry, Greta Gerwig, but did you really think you could get away with this? Yeah, our characters are meant to be at their lowest, but we don't feel that, okay? I'm gonna give an example here. Have you ever seen the show Suits? Of course you have. This show, resurgence this year, has led to 2 Super Bowl commercials. Was that last year now? Gosh, this video's really took me forever to make. Sorry about that. And whether you saw it on Netflix or Peacock, it doesn't matter. There's one scene that executes the exact thing Barbie was going for, but it does it right, proving that you can tell without being annoying and preachy. Did you see that? Did you feel the emotions? Yes, you did. Well, maybe you didn't, but I tried. This scene, in my opinion, executes this idea 10 times better because it's not preachy. It feels like a private moment between Jessica and Rachel. And we have seen all this character's success, her ups and downs, her trials and tribulations, and this moment is a genuine low point, a time where everything is gone and all hope is lost. This scene does it right, but the Barbie movie doesn't. It plays the Barbie Land takeover like a joke and then makes us take it seriously. And instead of this moment being impactful, it comes across as preachy. Then this literally becomes a children's film. This movie can't decide whether it wants to be for adults or kids. I mean, they go on a rescue mission to save all the Barbies. What, this film has random chase scenes, so what? I mean, was this film written by AI? It's like a bunch of random crap thrown together from 10 different movies. And it's not coherent, it doesn't make any sense, and it has a badly slapped in moral. The real question this movie needs to be asking isn't what was I made for, it's who was I made for. Great song, by the way, sucks it was wasted on a crappy film. But who was this made for? Was it made for men? Was it made for women? Was it made for girls? Was it made for boys? Who was it made for? If you can answer that question, I'll bow down. But as it stands, this movie was made for money and nothing more, so stop throwing feminist bullcrap down people's throats and just give us a good movie. With character development, you don't need to tell someone something is feminist for them to get the idea, and something doesn't have to be feminist to tell a good story, no matter the gender of the main character. Think of it this way, a little girl can't enjoy this film because there are way too many parts that a kid won't understand, and there's literally a whole scene dedicated to making Barbie feel bad. A teenager does it. It's not made for little boys because what kind of role models are any of these characters? This would just confuse him as to what he's meant to do. And Ken is barely a functioning doll, let alone a role model for young boys to learn how to express themselves and become their own man, as his evolution is written crappily. That's not a word friends reference, god damn it. It's not written for women. What woman would find this enjoyable? Oh right, you're always depressed and you're a terrible mother who married a man who's only in this film for 2 seconds. Was his character the father figure of this teenage girl, which is a very important role by the way? How can a woman possibly enjoy a preachy message that does not show a single good thing about being a woman or even being a person for that matter? And it's not made for men. How is a man supposed to enjoy being constantly teared down and being portrayed as just wanting a statue woman who will bring them their beer? Because apparently that's how all men are in the real world. This also shows how if they had stayed in the real world, Ken would have learned how to be a better man by Betty's husband. And why are you doing this? Also, this movie should have never gone back to Barbie Land. That's stupid. We're here to find ourselves in the real world, not the fake one. We want to see these characters sweat and get a cut on the knee, look a mess, find the good and the bad, develop friendships with humans, with this family. You know the people from the troll world and the troll hunters thing where they try to fit into the real world, or an example that makes more sense to more people? Troll hunters is sick though, come on guys. Imagine if after Wonder Woman saved the world she went back to Themyscira. Imagine Ken gets all this development and he stays in Barbie Land. Imagine Barbie knows nothing about the real world except for sadness and she wants to go back. She was treated crap the whole time she was in the human world. Also, what's the message of this movie? Is it we can never have equality even in a fictional world? The men are still lower up and this movie doesn't even touch the topic of race. And I'm not saying it has to, but they make a point to show all these races of Barbies. And our main human is Latina, and I also enjoy the idea of Barbie helping an adult instead of the kid because it's hard to help someone on the edge of 17. Ha! Little movie reference, that was a stupid joke. And we never really see it a lot from the adult perspective because it's not easy to raise a kid. This movie threw a lot of crap at the wall, but a charming scene was where Barbie drank something for the first time. It shows her not being perfect and adapting to the human world, and this is the creator of Barbie she's talking to. Yes, there is some debate about where the name Barbara came from and some money scandals, but yeah, Barbie, be whatever you want. Why do you set rules in the world if they don't matter? I know it's for her to make her own path and destiny or whatever, and maybe we could see her go through human life, almost like her going through human life should have been the plot of this film, and we should have seen her feel any other emotion other than sadness. And also, what kind of collector would like Cheese Whiz Barbie? No kid wants to play with a toy called Depressed Barbie, although in today's world, toys are more aimed at adults. Also, Mattel, call me so I can make a He-Man movie for you. It'll be big, same as the Barbie movie. Kick that nostalgia in the crotch and suck the life out of it. Not the crotch, to be clear. Also, Barbie, if you actually want to make money, maybe it's time to target early 2000s nostalgia, but I'm not sure. Now let's talk about some things that I did like. This film's Barbie Land looks really nice, but where is Raquel? What? I'm just asking for a friend. Actually, seriously though. This Barbie Land does look really pretty, and it makes Barbie Land feel like a children's utopia and happy place where they can do whatever they want, like walk on water and jump off a building. I know that's my dream, that's a stupid joke. And they had a pink paint shortage. I can just imagine a father with his daughter who has like cancer. She wants to paint the wooden birdhouse pink with her father before she died, and Barbie took all the paint, but the father was so determined that he bought a bunch of markers and colored the house with her, and then she died in his arms and said, "I hate Barbie and I love you, Daddy." Then she dies and the mother comes in and they hug their daughter's little body. Then the father buries her. I don't know why. Why is that what I thought of? But there is one good scene in this movie, and there are a few good lines. But the scene where she cries on the bench is great, and a lot of people say that scene shouldn't have been in the film because it had no purpose, and I agree because it didn't. Its only purpose was to show us a better film that we could be watching. But then after, this was the whole downfall of the film. I mean, Chekhov's gun, every element in your film needs to be necessary, and this film has a lot of scenes that have no purpose and never pay off. Like the gun never gets shot. No one ever shoots the gun for whatever. I'm gonna just stop saying gun. I believe there is something to be said about the scene with the daughter when she makes Barbie cry again, and I have a genuine question. Did anyone ever feel inferior to a Barbie? I know we all make the joke that Barbie is the stereotype woman, and maybe I wasn't the target audience for Barbie, but I believe that this scene was put in just to say something, even if you have nothing to say. That's probably how I would describe this whole movie. Saying something even if you don't actually have anything to say, just to say something, just doing it for the hell of it, and I think one day people will look back on this movie and realize that. But this movie isn't good, and what upsets me the most is the fact that I was really excited for this because if you don't know, I like fish out of water stories, and this was shaping up to be one I thought I could remember. But now the only memory I'll have of it is it being a bad movie and a cash grab by Mattel. So I just want to ask Greta Gerwig one question. Why was this made for? Get it? Get it? Because it's the made for thing. But this is a serious moment. I would like to know why she made this, and I know she will never see this video, but I just want to know. Hey, so a version of this movie with the director's commentary came out, and I'm not sure if you want me to talk about that one day, maybe a year from now, because right now I can't bring myself to watch it. But back to the impactful moment. This movie is just proof that Hollywood is all about the money with no actual value or meaning. And like I said, I'm not sure if Greta Gerwig genuinely thought this was a good idea, because out of the entire group of people who made this, she seems like the one who was most invested compared to everyone else. And I'm just very curious on kind of the mindset and idea that went into this film. But that is all for me today. Tell me what you think of the movie down in the comments and any other video ideas. Make sure you like and subscribe, and as always, stay cool, stay weird, stay you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.